So, hello everyone, here's Michi Hoyer from Avid Chronic Racing, and today I'm live for the Sim Pit as I still have some issues with techniques here since the window's popping up and down, so that's fine now. So anyway, today we're gonna have a special event here, doing some racing on rFactor 2 in the NOLA A course with a Mercedes AMG GT3. And it's actually going to be a very wet session. So, yeah, we're just looking to have some fun here in this Christmas drive. So, everyone here in Germany, we already have Christmas Eve. I know it's a little bit different in other countries here on the globe. But nevertheless, I wish you Merry Christmas, guys. Take a little break from the day-to-day business. Get down a little bit. Have a good time with your families, be happy, enjoy like taking a stop from the globe ever rolling so fast with this globalization things and emails every day and messages every day and streams here every day. Take a break from that. So today's gonna be a short 1 hour 15 stream on rFactor 2, showing the latest updates, the latest features here, with massive rain, with raindrops on the windshield, with paddles forming on the circuit, and yeah, have some fun in around GT3 class racing. That's what is going to go for today, and yeah, I hope you enjoy that a bit. So here's my little Christmas present for you guys, and I do hope that you guys are happy with that. Hey, delicious. Oh yeah, being in New Zealand, that means I think you're 10 or 11 hours ahead, so it's close before midnight, I think. Yeah, as I said, Christmas being celebrated quite differently all around the globe, so nevertheless, happy Christmas to everyone in here. So today, having a little fun in wet conditions on rFactor 2 with its latest versions in a GT3 around NOLA. I've done that a little bit before. Nevertheless, I've done it considerably bad. But anyway, we are in practice session, and since we will have 1 full hour race, I'm gonna have some more adjustments done to the car before actually going out. And I obviously have to test them a bit. So you definitely want to have a little bit more understeer here in the rear. That's why you move different things around. I'm not going too much into detail about those setup options. Make sure to take the wet tires, and then probably have some little bit of fun in conditions now getting, I want to say, worse. For now, the easy wiper is enough. I quickly have to adjust a little bit on my onboard settings, be fully comfortable in seeing things. Before we take it around the first time here in practice and see how the track will develop, I have to say I really do like the sounds of this Mercedes here on rFactor 2. It just sounds very powerful, as the car is quite powerful as well. And since it's available, I'm gonna put traction control low. For those guys who have watched the McLaren World Fastest Gamer competition, that was the case there as well, that you could use ABS low, which was definitely the best, because in those GT3 cars just the tiniest little bit of wheel spin kicks you off quite fast, as you see that the car likes to oversteer in general. So a little help in case of ABS and traction control ain't that bad. Anyway guys, if you have any questions whatsoever, I obviously try answering them, despite this track obviously keeps you busy. Jack, my usual rig is a G29, just as you see it here, single screen setup, as we leave some space for that radical to come on track. That shoots me a little bit wide. Yeah, G29 setup on a ever rolling DX Racer chair, which is nice though. I mean, happily with no load cell brake and just a potentiometer, you can actually push the clutch and push the brakes, and you don't roll backwards. Otherwise, if I would have had a load cell brake on this rig, I would have found myself in the back of that board there as soon as I hit brakes for turn 1. Why did it reach the neck of the woods there, Heath, for you, as I'm saying G29? I need to adjust the sounds a little bit since this, whoops. This radical is quite loud there, despite not being really on my tail. And there goes the Mercedes power. Past the radical on the straight. As the rain is still falling, and the other track is just damp, not really wet yet, but that will change in a short time. I'm quite sure about that. So delicious. There's some hopefully nice Christmas present being for you under the tree there then. Actually, I hope you guys get decent presents from all your loved ones and Santa Claus and whoever is going to come tonight. Xeno, yes, this is the X11. It's not ran on the fullest of settings available though. Since I prefer like 140 or 150 FPS a lot more than graphical perfectness. So that's why I'm still using a considerable low setting here. So we finish our cleanest lap so far. That is just being used to see about AI strength, how to set it, and it actually seems like I'm quite off pace there, so that's just probably right. I expect the opponent cars to really be on low fuel, whereas I'm carrying around some 50 liters. still 40 or something, so I definitely need to see throughout the race. It's gonna be a 1-hour race. For how much time I can stay on these tires, stay on that fuel. Well, probably one of those guys has still set his fastest lap time in more dry conditions, so I'm not going to beat them anyway. There you go. Yeah, Daniel, you're about right. At least a dinner chair is much more stable and does not move too much at all, which is just about right. Nevertheless, I feel quite comfortable on it, so I'm all right. So anyway, we are going to do some minor changes, and then I look at the timesheet and find myself in P13. I think if I will, I let to go the time a little bit quicker, so that water comes in the track, so it's completely wet when we start our racing. Yeah, Jesus is absolutely right that this DX11 is now mandatory for everyone who's running rFactor 2. Nevertheless, I do have to say that especially FSR is using still the 1108 build, which is still a bit supported by DX9. So yeah, there's still some kind of differences, I want to say, in versions and everything, and obviously also in how leagues are using it. I've heard that VEC has just upgraded to 1109, but I'm not sure whether they stay with that. So anyway, since I think, there you go, now water has built it up a little bit, I think we are ready to race then. Looking at the timesheets, we're gonna do 100 and a bit more seconds per lap, which makes it around 36 laps. So fuel, can I make it without any stop? That should be the case. Nevertheless, I do know that it stops raining at some point, so I'm not too sure whether it's really clever. And therefore I'm gonna probably split it up. Those conditions. Now start on the wets and later go to the dries. Nevertheless, we go to the next session and we find then still raining in practice 2. That's not what we want. There you go, that's the rain in full heavy monsoon, so there's probably going to be some interesting stuff going on in that race, which is coming up now. And we do a full hour of racing, and I will just see whether you guys want to have some fun with me on that. So here I have to take the hard wipers. So that was a considerably good start, coming from that last. I have no clue where to brake really. Just don't want to make any contact. And I'm still side by side with some guys. Have to be really careful, and I just forgot to turn up my own volumes compared to the other volumes, so I'm not really knowing when I slide. Trying to carry a little more speed around the outside, as I can't see anything at all here. Really. Too much spray going on, and I'm still side by side with that McLaren. And now I finally passed him. Oh, the spray is definitely massive. Trying to get a little bit out of that spray. As you can hear the rain still hammering down on the roof. So we find ourselves in P15. Some clean racing going on between the AI there at the front, which is good. And we will see if we can ditch in our nose anywhere. Too bad. Put ourselves close in a spin as the McLaren goes defensive there. So we have to make the move around the outside. Into turn 1, leave some space to the inside. There we go. That's P14. And I think they're probably running high fuel. I'm not sure about that though, but they seem considerably slow. Oh, that didn't went too well. That was some GT3 like bumping wheel. Yeah, Daniel, this weather has improved a lot lately with the dynamics. So as you said, it looks quite good. As we can see the rain light flashing on the Callaway ahead. Especially those drops on the windshield are definitely worth a look. Callaway goes defensive, which puts me under pressure by the McLaren in behind, which pulls out happily early enough. And we take a little more speed onto the straight, just placing ourselves side by side. We were so late on the brakes, but actually just managed it around, so that's P13 now. We still got a lot of time to go, and the way towards the front is not going to get easy, I can promise. And I hope that you enjoy such kind of racing here. I mean, yeah, I know it's Christmas and you guys probably get to put in presents under the tree. But yeah, I do hope that this is some kind of Christmas present to you as well. Something you might enjoy rewatching it as soon as you got some time. I enjoy racing those guys here quite a lot though. And it's not like that this AI is considerably bad. It's not set on full notch, that I can tell, but I think it's around 110% of 120 AI strength, so they're quite good. Their aggressiveness is quite there, but very controlled, which is good. Yeah, the Callaway really kills it on the straight, I agree. On the straight, this Callaway is moving so quickly. There is really a bunch of cars currently ahead. don't get it into a spin. So we lose some places here. Quickly get into the slipstream to not lose too many places. So this McLaren has also passed the Callaway somewhere. As we're now on the back again, and the AI is battling heavily. We're side by side, losing another place, I think. Trying to snatch back on the inside. It's difficult to tell sometimes, you can't really see a thing. But there's so much battling going on at the minute. Try to take it a wet line, carry more speed. Oh, as we get a little touch from that McLaren. So as much as annoying an AI can be, those guys are really fun to race against. That's all I can say. They just give you some space, and I do think that that little touch from the guy who's now in front was not really intended. Hey Norman, thanks for joining me here from the Bermuda Islands. Great to see you guys keep watching us, especially on Christmas Eve, as we finally make it past that guy again into 11th place meanwhile. So running in a slipstream of that Radical. That went well, P10 that is now, and so we're trying to continue our journey towards the front. Good morning to you, Christos, as well. As I'm starting to get really a headache of that spray and water's been thrown towards... Ooh! Why did you brake there? Yeah, so that's back in P11. So as you can see, every little mistake's gonna be punished quite badly immediately. Christos, this suspension is a little bit softened, especially at the front, and the rear tires are in a different toe, so they're more pointing towards each other, getting some stability. So it's clearly more or less set up for rain, to have just a tiny little bit more momentum on it. Nevertheless, the car is still particularly stiff, as you said. Well, that's nice. I mean, it's a very heavy car, but it's turning quite good. As we're on the back again, on the main straight on this Radical, in the slipstream, slightly pulling into better position, but we have to brake early in order to make it here on the inside, as both outbrakes themselves and makes a mistake, so we can actually gain on the action. And I haven't seen any Mercedes AMG here at the back. Is this coincidence, since there is a group of cars running up in front? So that means we should quickly get past the two guys ahead. It very seems like this Mercedes is the strongest car on the grid here. As I would say, especially to the pit crew, Merry Christmas to you guys. Hope you enjoy some racing fun. I'm close before crashing with that Callaway here ahead. Don't want to crash at all though. Oh, this Mercedes, despite being a lot softer in the rear, still a beast to control. I'm often feel going a bit sideways, have to correct a lot on the wheel. As I can place myself beside the Callaway. And now I just need to pass that Bentley somehow. And then I can hunt down what I think is gonna be Mercedes AMG GT3s all over the place there at the front. Too bad exit here. So no chance to do something on the Bentley on that main straight.
That was a 153.11.
Oh, yes, I broke myself heavily here. So the good thing about the Bentley is that it's a lot heavier than this Mercedes, so it should not be able to go around corners that quickly, which could get us into good position. And some corners, like here, take a different line. Not yet though. As we dive up the inside, that made the move stick, and for the first time ever I got some clean air and some clean wipers, because no spray, and immediately I'm gonna do the mistake. So I come back in here, happily gaining no advantage, so no penalty. So running in no dirty air now is getting a little different on the car as well. But anyway, I should be able to pull away from them now, as gap to the car ahead is close to 9 seconds. Yeah, Lawbed, that was a clear fail, I admit that. But from now on you'll probably see some better racing, especially time-wise. Not sure what my fastest lap so far was, but probably this lap around it's gonna be the fastest lap in the race for me. So coming from P20, P7 is not that bad after, I have no clue how much time is gone by the way, so we quickly have a look. So 45 minutes left in the race. As you can see, the wetness is going to decrease now, since rain is starting to fade away, just 9% of rain left. And on track wetness is still 70%, but with 20 cars on the grid, that will go down quite quickly, I assume. Especially as soon as the rain is about to stop within the next 5 minutes, I think. But you guys can all see the reflections of the paddles standing around. Sadly though, those paddles currently are just graphical features. So they're still working on the physical features here, but nevertheless, having paddles on the surface actually means more realism, because there's no road on the track, or no roads around the world where there's no some kind of little holes or no unevenness inside, so there will always be some paddles anywhere on the road as soon as it's raining. Hey Christos, thank you very much for that hint. Yes, obviously at some point there's going to be setting up a car for a wet track. I did that already on my personal channel, if you want to check out. So then you visit www.youtube.com/c/Michi Hoyer. Then you will come to my personal YouTube account, on which you will find a wet setup being made for a Formula car, so for open wheeler. But it's very same a little bit for the GT cars. Nevertheless, I will do a special one on a GT3 maybe. As rain has eventually stopped, since there are no raindrops anymore, and those raindrops coming now are from the spray from the guys ahead. And it's actually a bunch of colorways running here ahead. So I pull out of that stream, and here you go, no raindrops on the car whatsoever. So I turn the wipers into the slower mode, since that will be just enough for now. And now, being in that slipstream and stream of the colorways, you actually see raindrops again on the windshield, so the water being sprayed from the racetrack towards the windscreen is simulated here as well, as we put ourselves into a little spin. Portisk, the video card I'm using is a 970 GTX from Nvidia, so not top notch, but not too bad as well. Still, I do not like putting the PC into too much performance spikes. But yeah, I mean, as you guys know, I'm saving my money for either getting a better rig. So at some point there's gonna be triplets, there's gonna be Fanatec stuff, and then there's gonna be a high-end PC with a 1090 GTX. By then we gonna be a new series of Nvidia already anyway. But yeah, that's what I'm saving the money for currently. But yeah, there's 5,000 euros to save for that. So that's gonna take a while. But with your support, I'm quite sure to have that done considerably early. As long as you guys love what I do, I can go on with that. Same with Sean. I have no clue where my 970 GTX is from. I do think, however, it's from ASUS. So, but I have no really clue. I would probably have to look at the board or at the packing in which it came from. As they go defensive. Can we do something around the outside here? Nope. Oh, that's some kind of surprisement that I see a lot of radicals here leading the pack in the front. As I got the McLaren in behind, which has followed me throughout the pack, it seems. So, I mean, the balance of performance now can shift as soon as the track is starting to dry up. In that white fog you cannot see anything whatsoever. So we have a quick look at conditions. So 53, water on the line. So that's going to be decreasing. As I also feel my tires to come off a bit, so we have a quick look at them. Temperature wise they're just good, as they both operate themselves. Oh, yeah, I'm gonna give that position back. Hey, not to you though. So having a look on the main straight, temperature wise we're doing good. Wear wise we are more or less all equal, so 87, 89 at the front, 88, 88 at the rear, which is good. as I'm going myself a little bit more defensive. As we really now need to find a way past those Callaways, since the McLaren is pushing hard from the back. So no further sandbagging now. I need to be right on the edge, so when they do another mistake to really profitate of that. Just 42 liters on board of the car remaining for the rest of the race. Oops, as we go a little wide here on the exit. I'm trying to be closer this time, but not really. This time it was a clean pass into 6th place now. And I expect the racetrack to dry up considerably soon. So we need to get ourselves in a good position to react on the cars behind.
7.13.
As they are now starting to do even more mistakes. Too slippery to really make something around the outside. Oh. Don't go off track. That puts the yellow Radical in front again. So yeah, as you can see, it's still considerably hard. Thank you very much indeed, Jack, for the Merry Christmas wishes. Also hoping to get some nice presents from my loved ones, which hopefully has to do a little bit with sim racing to improve on my package here, or at least some decent money so I can save it away for better equipment. No, too much understeer. And that McLaren really on the edge there. Happily doing enough of a mistake to make me profitate from it again. So wild racing is going on here around wet NOLA. So at this time I got the warning for cutting the track. 3 are allowed before you get the penalty. As I have my tires flat spotted somewhere. Oh, Solo, that's a very nice Christmas present, I think. Have you ever tried it yet? Is it nice? Well, that's a very nice Christmas present then, isn't it? If it's a nice wheel and you love doing racing with it, there's nothing better you can get, I think. That was close. So everyone's starting to doing some mistakes, and this has probably to do with the ever drying track surface now, as the McLaren is now behind again. Norman, what is a chord here?
46.31.
Well, Norman, to be fair, motion rig is very nice indeed, but to me it's more a fun feature rather than a real racing feature, so I'm looking definitely for equipment that enables me to go quick, and I do think a motion rig has to be as sensible and as perfect as a real life car would behave, and those motion rigs are always dealing with some milliseconds of delay, either input wise or output wise. I was sitting in a Porsche 911 on the Sim Racing Expo, and this had a motion seat in it which was only moving like inches or millimeters, so not really much, but it was so set up perfect and so accurate with its movements on rFactor. Oh no. Interesting stuff. I haven't had this in or for a while, so that's P6 with 40 minutes to go, I think. So I re-enter that session, try to see whether I can put me in P6. Robert, I'm still thinking about finishing that race, where I just had 35 or 36 liters of fuel remaining. So that was a weird crash. I've never had that before on another track. So race time be just 40 minutes. The thing is, we had wet racing going on. So I need to rerun the practice to get the track fully covered with rain again. Starting position, can I determine that? Grid position, that was P6 I was running in, and I think I can add some AI strength to 112. So going back into the race again. We're really weird, like, I mean, I'm running Formula Sim Racing on rFactor 2 quite a lot, and I haven't had a crash yet, like that. But anyway, that enables me to answer that question quickly on the motion rig. I'm not too much of a fan of those motion rigs, since they're not really giving the feedback you would need. I mean, while still going right and the car already starts to slide in the back, the motion rig just tells you still the car's going right, and as soon as you see the car going to the left, you counter steer, and just on that moment the motion rig as well tells you that the car is going to the left, but it's little too late, and you want to have it as perfect as, I mean, you want to have that movement as soon as you see the car going right and sliding. You want to have that feedback immediately on the seat, and that needs to be fixed. Like on any other wheel, if you have V-Sync turned on, then you have the input lag and stuff like that going on all the time. So that's definitely something they need to fix there before real motion rigs are really useful to be used. Anyway, when running in virtual reality on a motion rig, that's probably the most real thing you ever can do. When being in your simulator or being sim racing, that actually went pretty nice. Anyway, so that's it for motion rigs. Currently I'm more looking for equipment like fan attack, load cell brakes, and a stiff and never changing rig, so I can hop in and always feel myself in the same position, like with that, it might be the wheel being placed a millimeter towards the right and a millimeter too much towards the left or something. So that's what I'm really looking for, sim racing rig wise, and obviously in high performance PCs, and yeah, generally things. I mean, equipment doesn't make you faster. That's one thing. I mean, you have your skill and you have your abilities, and all the equipment can do is to make more use of them, and that's what I'm looking for. Oh, Robert, yeah, that's very nice. I'm actually doing the same, not for 4 hours then. And I will forward the session now. And again, and again. Then we have this race, and I need to reset fuel to, I think it was 45 liters I had left, so it will take another. Well, it's weird because the thing, I keep it 50 because the AI is on a different strategy now as well. However, I quickly reset the values I had when being in the other session with you there. So that was it. That went to minus here. I put that up here, and the brake bias went that way. So audio, I finally put up my player's volume and decrease the other one's volume. Solo, this game is not like Assetto Corsa at all. rFactor 2 is way more sensitive on the tires, but in comparison to Assetto Corsa, once you feed them, you can actually cool them down again. So it's not like an Assetto Corsa when your tires are lit and hit up. You have issues going on. That's not the case in rFactor 2. It's more or less more real, what I would say it is. And especially with the physics, the car feels more real. Like there are some cars in Assetto Corsa, they feel definitely unreal to me. So we set wipers on 1. Ah, there you go. It didn't keep my savings. So I quickly restart the race. I was just wondering while I was revving that car. Oh, that was a bad start. It was a lot better in the other race. So in the end I think we lost the place. I know something else that didn't change. Restart that race. I didn't. That's the main reason why I failed so badly. Right, so finally we can go on, I think. Right. There you go. So, sorry about the inconvenience here, guys. So now we know the reason for my bad start there in the first place. Oh dear. As I got badly blocked here on the outside. Just being beside that Bentley now. So that's P4. I just wanted to go on racing at the point we were. So that's P3. And probably it's going to be a little bit too easy now, but since the pack is now very close together. That's good stuff, Solo. Gloves is really something I found to be useful for sim racing. At first I was like, meh, people might have a go at you when racing with gloves. Nevertheless, there are so much wheels with Alcantara stitching on it, and that is used so badly when racing it with the naked hands, especially with me having issues of sweatness. That's the main reason why I do use gloves, because with sweaty hands the car feels, the wheel feels slippery in my hand. So I took gloves for them feeling good and have good grip on it.
That was a 1:55.80.
Yeah, Christos, you are so right. I think the sounds being made by rFactor 2 or Studio 397 on that Mercedes are just spot on. Not sure about the other cars, but the McLaren sounds completely astonishing, and I think the Bentley is another top-notch sound here as well. So they paid a lot of attention to making sounds, whereas on a race room, oh no. So that's an interesting turnaround for our race. So speaking again of the sounds of a race room, they are known for having the best sounds in the sim, and I kindly disagree with that on the GT3s. I do think that even the Porsche 911 on iRacing has better sounds than the new Porsche being released on Race Room, but that just might be personal liking. I'm racing a pair of fields, so those one, and I do really like them since they're incredibly thin and they are also incredibly reliable. So that's a real nice pair of gloves to be used, that's for sure. So if you want to have some gloves from Feel, you have to contact Domino Duhon, team leader of Team Redline. I think they are all using those, and they are really nice. So being back in P4 with that mistake, we definitely see that it is the McLaren that works the best in those conditions here. Since we have a McLaren in P3 and the leading McLaren pulling away from the Radical in P2, and the P3 McLaren making a lot of pressure towards that Radical there. And I need to find a way past this Radical here at the front. Oh, as I hit the apex shield, the apex sign. I'm trying to carry a little more speed, but yeah, too early on the throttle here on the apex. Hey Gimli, hello everyone as well. I know it's quite early in the US. little bit of bumping wheels here with that radical. But we made it past. Sorry about that contact, despite the fact in a GT3 class series this is probably day-to-day business, being nudged and touched a bit. Nevertheless, I'm cleanly a favorizer of clean and contact-free racing. Just like that. Oh no! It's incredibly slippery out there as soon as you come away from the little dry line. So there's no real room for outbraking people, which means that overtaking is going to be extremely difficult. Yeah, I know I was too much at the inside. Oh, Robert, really, did you? So, you want to tell me about those tricks? Too late on the brakes. As the leading McLaren is driving away. The two guys ahead now start battling a lot. Yeah, and the pressure being applied by that radical paid off. Oh, this is really slippery here on the outside, it's incredible. So winning that race is not impossible, but gonna be quite difficult. I do think I did not run anti-brakes on full. Yeah, good point, Robert.
That was a 146.33.
Can we do it round the outside? A little too fast on the exit. Yeah, that worked. So I think ABS on low does not add too much of weight penalty. It should make it more easy for me to go fast here. 30 minutes remaining though. And the track is becoming faster and faster. That's for sure now. As I'm going towards the back of that McLaren there. They're still fighting quite badly.
The lap was a 144.14.
So let's see where we can do something to this time. We're at least close again. We're putting on a little bit of pressure with the headlights. It's incredibly hard to see anything in that spray, and they go incredibly fast throughout those chicanes there, like really fast. Don't want to get another warning. No. Oh, it's going to be incredibly hard to do anything around here. I just can't go fast enough around the corners, as another McLaren is now pulling up here in my mirror. I was a little wide there. I need to be very more close here in that area. This is where the Mercedes has probably the best opportunities. I'm starting to lose out on the ground against them now for some reason. Like when I launched the second attack, I was very close to them, and now I'm just losing time somewhere. As the car feels very weird. All right. Very interesting indeed. Yep, that's we being dead last now. As now a dry line comes up here. So one can now clearly see a dry line forming. So we have still 21% of wetness on the dry line. so it's way too early to pick another tire. Nevertheless, when racing this dry line, that should be soon ready for slicks. And that could be a possibility for us to pull out an undercut. I mean, the issue though with slick tire being on then is you're not allowed to slip off that dry racing line like here, and you're also not allowed to overtake basically because you can't brake on the wets. And as you can see, me taking a different line into here, which is not dried up at all. So I need to look at the gaps, how they start to behave now. So 4.5 seconds. So wipers can be turned off. 4.5 seconds the gap is, and we will see what it be around next time. And if it's going to increase, well, we go gamble then for a set of dry tires. I really have no clue what kind of setting they have on the car to be so quick around those S's here. Like, really. So we lost about a second in this lap.
The lap was a 1:43.33.
Incredible stuff. So race is just another 20 minutes. And with me starting on 50 liters, I still definitely need some fuel. So here we go. You request a pit stop. Put some additional 8 liters and take the softest compound available. For dry racing. And click up on the rear wing. And that's just a full gamble, and let's see if that pays off. Oh, here we are, pit road. At the front there's our service point. So, oh, the rear wing. I should have known better. Nah. So, with fuel and everything now being changed already. Oh, okay. Tires still need some fixing. Now, the rear wing takes another 6 additional seconds, I think, and we're off for racing again, and it's gonna to be incredibly hard to get out of the pits without spinning. Go back on the dry line quickly, there you go. So, just some spray at the back, which means when being on the dry part, that should be good. So 55 seconds towards the guys ahead. Well, we see how that works out in those conditions then. I do think I need a new setting for brake bias. A little more towards the front. Yeah, blue flags. Nice. So they're racing as fast on wet tires as I do on slicks, and that's me being completely off now. And look at the gap the McLaren has already from the rest of the field. But I still think that soft tires, so slick racing tires, are a bit faster now. Just need to do it a clean lap once. No, the AI is not set on full maximum. The full maximum would be 120, but it is set on 112. So the longer the race goes, definitely my tire and fuel choice is the better one. The only question is, will it be enough? Why? People doing this there all the time. And now I'm being warned for cutting track. Well, anyway. Just really need to stay in that dry line, and then I am fine. So that was 2 seconds on our side now, so we're definitely on the faster choice. Will that be enough though to do anything in the end? Like, will the AI still stick on the wet tires for the remainder of the race? Then their performance should drop in quite badly soon. If not, I actually might have the chance to do anything here towards late end of that race. You got to be kidding, aren't you? This is ridiculous. Why am I given a stop and go penalty whereas all the other guys are doing exactly the same? Do I really have to go really wide on there? So I really need to check what happens if I go more wide in terms of this cutting thing. So the gap is 1 minute and 4. With a stop and go penalty and all those spins going on, that's definitely the chance. Going to do something on the undercut. Fair enough. So that's flat spot in the tires anyway. So, okay, you have to cut wide there in order to not get... Right. Now I got 2 penalties. Okay, with that I'm gonna definitely exit to the monitor, and I would say that's it for now, because it's pointless to go on in such kind of conditions. Not that it would be not fun, but seriously, the game is now charging me penalties that I have been given at any other point, and the AI is not being given at all. Would you have really restarted the session? Well, I could do that, and still go on with that stuff. But anyway, I think it's enough for now. I'm probably gonna do the career mode in Project Cars within a minute or 5 minutes on my personal stream, since I've just started that and I wanted to get at least race 1 to a finish. So if you wanna have some good time, let's hop over to there. Anyway guys, other than that, I wish you very nice Christmas. So happy Christmas to everyone. Spend time with your families, get out of the daily rush of working business and so on. Calm down a little bit, relax a little bit, charge your batteries for more racing to come, for more tasks to come. Sylvester's soon, so with the new year, new tasks will arise. So anyway guys, thank you very much for watching. I'm Michi Hoyer. I was live for the Simpy, and I see you guys out on track.